Hey guys, Chris here, back at it again with another video today. Today it's going to be a little bit of a double kind of video. So, second, and whatever the opposite of foremost is, for least, I don't know. But secondly, or I guess least importantly, I'm going to be reviewing this Black Energy Mojito flavor, which is kind of wild. Like, I've never seen, maybe there's been like but even this I haven't seen. Like, I've never seen an energy drink flavor based off of an alcoholic drink. This is a Polish brand of energy drink, and I've reviewed their original flavor a few years ago now, 2 or 3 years ago, however long it was. But I saw this at the Polish Deli, and I was like, I gotta try this. This looks wild. But so I'm going to be doing that, but first and foremost, I'm going to be talking about probably the most interesting trip that I've ever taken at my work. And interesting does not mean good, it means most interesting. So before we do that, I'm just going to crack this open because I'm very thirsty. I just had some bread and some random like meat mushroom things. They didn't have my usual côtelette Milonia. Oh wow, this smells like, oh man. Actually, kind of smells like a mojito, like lime and like cucumber, or lime and mint, not cucumber. I don't know where I got that from. That's nice and refreshing. And oh my gosh, it's dyed green. There's no reason they needed to dye this green, but that's just how they do it in Poland, I guess. Interesting. So they don't use, I don't think they even can use like, like red 40 color, like, coloring like that. So they use colors, brilliant blue, FCF, and interesting. So they have like different names for food coloring there. And I'm sorry guys, I think I'm gonna have to roll the window down just a little more, because even though it is a nice day, it's about 73 degrees, it's almost feels hotter than it is. And I think it's just very hazy outside. I really don't know why. I mean, it rained a ton yesterday, but that's really the only thing I can think of. But anyway, I'll talk about this trip. So normally, as some of you guys know, I do a specific route of my job that runs always 4 days a week, runs at the exact same time, and it runs 10 months out of the year, and I love it. It's my favorite job I've ever had, doing that route. But it does not run June, July, and about halfway through August, and at the tail end of May too. Like, it stops on what is the holiday in May? Is it Memorial Day? I don't know. It's the one at the end of May. It doesn't run after that, and it starts again about August 14th or so. That's when it starts this year, at least. But anyway, when I'm not doing that, I'm just kind of doing whatever my company can give me, right? And sometimes that means going outside of the Chicagoland region, which I'm fine with. I don't mind. And this one particular trip was going from central Illinois to Colorado. And I was not going to Colorado. I was the first leg of the trip. So I went from central Illinois to Altoona, Iowa. You know what? I'll say I went from East Peoria to Altoona, Iowa. Everyone knows if you look at some of my videos and you look in really close on my shirt, you can see what company I work for. But anyway, I went from East Peoria to Altoona. The first part of that trip was nice. It was all right. So me and this other guy from Chicago got down to Peoria in like the early afternoon, and we left East Peoria at about 7 p.m. It was kind of annoying. The group was they weren't like the nicest, this was 4th of July, like who starts a trip on the 4th of July, whatever. Got to Iowa at 11 p.m., whatever, no big deal, right? We went back the next day. We just stayed in a hotel, typical trip, typical first leg of a trip, I guess. This was fine though. It was the return portion, like a week later, or less than a week, whatever it was, that was not so good. Or I guess I should say it was interesting. And basically how that worked was I went down to Peoria, and from Peoria I went with 2 other people. We went to Grand Island, Nebraska. And we stayed there overnight, and I guess the returning buses from Colorado we were gonna swap out with. So we were gonna swap out with the people that were coming from Colorado, and we were gonna take the buses back to Des Moines or Altoona, somewhere around that area. I can't remember which town it was. I'm just gonna roll this up because this is getting probably kind of loud for you guys. I'll roll down my other window though. So, according to the plan, the buses were supposed to come to Nebraska at about 9 to 9:30 p.m., something like that. Which is okay. We were supposed to leave by 10. We were supposed to get back to Iowa like 2 in the morning. Like, yeah, it's kind of terrible, but like I've seen worse. Well, not really, actually. The latest I've ever clocked out of work before then was like 2:30 probably, and we were supposed to reach Iowa at like 2:30, so I probably would have clocked out like close to 3, whatever. However, this did not happen like how it was supposed to. So in preparation for that, what I did was at about 8 p.m. I drank a cup of nice strong coffee, a cup of black coffee, nothing crazy I've had before, and it was good. I was like, all right, ready to take this trip, ready to drive through most of the night, whatever, no big deal. So we were supposed to wait for a call. They were going to call us about an hour before they came to Nebraska. So they were going to call us like, I don't know, 8:30 or something. Or maybe, about 8:30 we were supposed to get a call. So 8:30 came, 9 o'clock came, 9:30 came, nothing. Finally, around, I think it was about 9:15, 9:30, something like that, we got the call. They said they were an hour out. And they would be here by, what was it? They would be here by about 11. So right away, that was like, holy crap. So that means we have a 4-hour drive ahead of us, and we're going to be leaving here at the very least at 11. Or at the earliest at 11. So, by then we were just like, all right, let's just go to the meeting spot. We're going to be there a little early, but whatever. So we went there. It was some truck stop, nothing crazy. Kind of hung out there for a while. And to be honest, like, I can't stand it when things like that happen, where it's like, oh, by the way, the plan that you were counting on is just not going to happen at all, like in any way, shape, or form that it was described. And that's what basically happened. So they were supposed to be here at 11, and they didn't get there till like 11:15, and it was like, okay, all right, finally. And we end up leaving there about 11:40. I think it was pretty much on the dot, like 11:40, 11:45 that we left. And so it was like, all right, finally getting going, I guess. This is actually pretty good. It's basically like a kind of minty kind of energy drink. You don't get a lot of like mint flavored energy drinks, which I like. I like mint flavored things. I'd say this is pretty good. I'd say I'd buy it again. Maybe I'll give it a rating later. But anyway, we rolled out of there about 11:45, and first hour it was okay. I had music queued up, to listen to. Because I was listening to music, I was not about to not listen to music, because, like, first of all, these people were, like, all asleep, basically, because for them, it was just one long, continuous bus ride. Like, I don't even think they got out of the bus, to like go pee and all that. But it was more or less one long continuous ride for them from Colorado. And that's all fine and dandy for them, but for me and everyone else doing it, it's kind of a pain in the ass. But anyway, so we left there. First hour went okay. It was like, I kind of didn't like it, but at the same time I was like, you know what, this is okay. It's just not as bad as I thought. So midnight rolls around, 12:30 goes by. It's about 1:30. All of a sudden, about somewhere between 1:30 to 2 in the morning or so, things kind of started getting weird. Like, I started really getting tired. Like, really to the point where it was not, I would say not safe for me to drive. So, basically what started happening was, like, between this time of like 1:30 and like 2:15, whenever it started, I started like kind of like, I saw because we were going in a convoy of buses. There was 3 buses. I was in the middle, and we were like, I started seeing like in the first bus, I was like, who the hell is tailgating this guy? Like, I saw like a Nissan Versa or something tailgating the bus in front of me, and I was like, what in the honest to hell is going on? And then I looked, I was like, there's no car there. That's just the reflection of like the hood, or not the hood, but like the engine cover of the bus. And I was like, I'm starting to see things. Like, what the hell? And then later we went to, I started like, my hands, they were just like shaking. And like my feet were shaking too, which was the weirdest part. Like, it was just like I was just shaking. I have no idea why. Like, I mean, it wasn't like, and it really wasn't like a nervous shake. Like, I don't really know how to explain it. It was like kind of like the shake you have, like, I don't really know. It was weird though. And I was starting to shake, and we were gonna pass this truck, because the truck was going, I don't know, 65 miles an hour. We were all going like 72. We were passing this truck, and it was my turn to pass, because, like I said, we were in a convoy. And as I was passing him, the truck started speeding past me. I was like, what the hell is this guy doing? He sees that we're going around him. He could at the very least wait until we're all passed, and then he could pass again if he really wants to be in front of us. But then I look down at my speedometer, and I'm going like 60 miles an hour. I'm like, oh my gosh, my foot wasn't even on the gas this whole time. Like, I am genuinely starting to lose it. Like, I felt like my body and mind was like starting to slip. Like, not into falling asleep. Like, I don't think I would have fallen asleep at the wheel or anything, but it was just not good. I mean, maybe I would have, I don't know. But then the worst thing to start happening was my vision. It was kind of blurry, but the worst part about it is that it was just like zooming in and out. I don't know how to explain it. It's like, it was consistently blurry, but my eyes just kind of felt like what are the things called? Like googly eyes, that you used to stick on things. Like, it felt like googly eyes, except the googles went back and forth instead of left and right. Like, it just felt like I just couldn't keep like them straight, basically. Like, they just wouldn't like focus up, And eventually I was like, holy crap, it's like 2:30 in the morning. We still have like 2 hours left of this drive, basically, or maybe a little less than 2 hours at that point. But we still had a huge amount of time left to drive. I need to crack open my energy drink, and thank God, literally, thank God that I had that with me, because I cracked open that energy drink. I started drinking it, wasn't really doing anything, but eventually, close to, I'd say 2:45 or so in the morning, close to then, like, it was the most, what word do I want to use to describe this? it was the most exaggerated and profound lock-in that I've had in my entire life. Like literally, like my vision essentially, like 1 minute was like blurry, and then the next, like it just snapped back in. Like everything became crystal clear again. I was like, okay, I don't feel like I'm about to die. And like it fixed everything basically. Like the only way I can put it is that I didn't necessarily feel like caffeinated, but it just felt like it brought things back to normal, you know. And that led me through the rest of the night. So 3 o'clock, 4 something, I was still perfectly awake. In fact, we got to the switch out point. It was a truck stop in somewhere around Des Moines or Altoona, whatever it was. We got there about 4:30 in the morning, and I kind of halfway joked to the people, like, because we heard something about how like there was someone else that needed to be picked up somewhere that was around there, and I kind of half joked to them. I was like, oh, we should go pick him up, you know. And they were like, oh, you know. But we all just kind of went back to the hotel. Got back there about 4:45 or so, and I tried to go to sleep. Fell asleep at like 6 in the morning because I was still kind of hopped up from the energy drink. I slept for like an hour, and then we drove back to Peoria, and then I drove back up here alone. But to be honest, I don't ever want to do something like that ever again. Like, I really don't want to be in a situation where there are 55 people's lives, a $500,000 bus, and my life all at the mercy of a $2 energy drink. I don't ever want to do that again. And, you know, I don't think I'll have to anytime soon because my route will be starting back up and I'll have consistent, you know, days of working, and I won't have to do things like that. But yeah, I truthfully don't ever want to do something like that ever again. And, you know, say what you will, say that I wouldn't have made it back in the old days, say that I've got soft hands, say all this funny stuff. But until you are at the wheel of something like that and feeling like you are slipping away, then I wouldn't say much, because it is not a good feeling, and I really don't wish it on anyone. Even in like a car or anything. Like, it is just not a good feeling. And like, yeah, maybe I should have drank the energy drink earlier. Maybe that's just what everyone does. Maybe that's just the way to do it, you know, just load up on caffeine. I don't know. And that's probably how most of these other people do it, because the other guy I was talking to, who's like 70, by the way, he told me that his technique was he takes a Mountain Dew Code Red, drinks a little bit of it, like a few sips, and then dumps a 5-hour energy into it, and that's his energy drink. I'm like, that is insane. Like, that's wild. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. Like, even if I felt caffeinated and awake, I still wouldn't want to do something like that, because it's just not. There's a whole lot of things that I'm dumb with. Okay, like there's a motorcycle I have that leaks gas, and I'll have it running and leaking gas all over the hot engine block, and I don't know, sometimes I'll, you know, just dump a bunch of lighter fluid on something to start a fire, or, you know, I don't know, I'll do stupid things. I'll do really dumb things, but I know my way around those really dumb things, and I don't know my way around driving through the night. I'm not good at it. I don't really ever plan on becoming good at it. I don't want to become good at it. It's not really something that I really need, I don't think. And if I were to be in a situation where I do need it, then I would get used to it. But I'm simply not used to it. That's all that it is. And I think it's kind of a wild thing to do. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I got a lot of other things to say, but I don't really want to say them, to be honest, on video. But I really truthfully don't ever want to do something like that ever again. And thanks for rolling up like right next to me, the only empty space in the parking lot. Stupid ass like ComEd truck or whatever it is. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But anyway, like, I don't know. I really don't ever want to do something like that ever again. I wouldn't wish it upon anyone, and I really hope it doesn't happen again to me. Because if it does, if it does, yeah. But yeah. Anyway, second part of this video, and probably a shorter part because this video is already 20 minutes long. This was good. I would give this like 8 out of 10. It was really good. It was a good flavor. Only things I didn't like about it are, well, let me take another sip before I judge. I like the true minty flavor. And it actually does have mint flavor in it. I don't know if that's real mint or what. No, it doesn't. No, I'm stupid. It doesn't have mint flavor, actual mint in it. It says flavoring, but nothing about mint. The only two things I don't like about it are that it is dyed green. Like, why is it dyed green? We're not 8 years old. We don't need this to be dyed green. And actually, that's really the only thing I don't like about it. It's not insanely sugary, which I like. It's got very good flavor, like I've said, and it's reasonably priced. You can get this for